JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today's the 30th of November, so 2021. So yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to this last trading day of November. So yeah guys, as always, before we jump into the charts, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimers. So yep, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank website and specifically our JFD research page, which is also updated on a daily basis. So you have to check it out here on jfdbank.com and click on the research tab right there on the top. So now then, jumping into the chart, so let's quickly have a look what's happening here with Nikkei. So yep, the index did try to recover somewhat initially, but then fell sharply again, and well, we came closer to this upside support line drawn from the low of the 20th of August. Now, this is where the index closed. We well, basically kind of in a way worked out, I would say. I mean, worked out well for the sellers, but at this point I will take a bit of a pause because I want to see what's going to happen further. I want to see if this upside line does provide any good support. If it does, then maybe a bit of a rebound here could be possible, but if it doesn't, well, I mean, maybe they could continue drifting further south. However, in that case, if we're looking for some lower levels, then probably, well, not probably, but actually a break of this this upside line would be needed, and then we could go slowly on to the downside towards towards the 27,293 territory, which is marked by the lowest point of October, or we would aim for that lowest point of August near the 26,954 zone. Now, like I said, for the upside, I mean, yes, of course, it is quite tempting maybe to jump in somewhere near this upside line, but to be honest, even if we do see that little rebound, actually I would prefer to see maybe a push back somewhere above this territory, above this 28,472 zone. Maybe at the same time we would be, well, not maybe, but we would at the same time we would be back above the 200-day EMA, and maybe we could go for a bit of a retracement. A bit of a retracement to the upside here. Now, in terms of this little downside line here, taken from the high of the 14th of September, and that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying, that I'm not going to really, let's say, go radically to the upside, because maybe, just maybe, we could be seeing here a potential triangle pattern, but again, that's a little bit too early for that. So let's see first how it's going to behave near this upside line, and then we'll take it from there. The Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index. So the index still has around 50 minutes left of trading. So, but if you remember yesterday, I talked about this. Index, and basically, yep, in a way, yes, it broke this hurdle here, this support zone between the 24,595 and the 24,695, and yep, we drifted lower. Of course, that was last week, of course, but then what I said, that if we do reach this area, then I'm going to keep a close eye on this little area of support between the 23,681 and the 23,771 levels. Well, we managed to clear that area as well, and we're currently still staying below it. Now, of course, all this doesn't really paint a very positive picture, and it as you can see today, we almost managed to reach my other target, the 23,124.25 zone, which is marked by the lowest point of September of 2020. And I would like to see another maybe better test of this area, and I want to see if this area does actually provide very good support from where we could maybe see a bit of a rebound and maybe a bit of a retracement. However, if we do start breaking this hurdle, this 23,124 zone, then well, of course, further declines are possible, and this is where I'm going to start aiming for those, the lowest point of May of 2020 or the lowest point of 2020 in general, near the 21,139 zone. And as you can see here, guys, I mean, after we had a nice good run, if we evaluate this overall, after we had a very good run here to the upside, we started correcting somewhere around February time this year, and we still continue to do so and continue to move lower. And we're actually, if you look at it this way, we're not really far from the whole level, the levels here on Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index, where we were back in during the announcement of the pandemic last year. So we're basically kind of getting closer to that area. So for now, I'm going to be aiming for those levels, especially if we start clearing, like I said, these key support zones. The German index DAX. So yes, let's have a look what's happening here. And basically yesterday we saw the index climbing back up, trying to make its way back above this upside line, and it did have initially some success in doing that, but yeah, after that you can see that everything changed, the sentiment changed, and well, we slid back down, but the 208 EMA somehow still provides that good support zone. However, looking at the cash index right now, we can see that the price is sitting at around 15,110 zone. So that means we are basically below, nicely below that 208 EMA, and most importantly, we are below this other upside support line, the one that I talked about previously. This one's taken from the low, the 11th of December, and if we remain below it, then well, basically further declines are possible, guys. And my next target is the 15,019 zone, or of course that psychological 15,000 zone, or maybe this key support zone near the 14,816 territory, approximately around there, marked by the low, marked by the lowest point of May and the lowest point of October. So I'll keep an eye on that one. Nasdaq 100 very quickly on this one. So yes, it did retrace somewhat yesterday. However, it's I would say it's currently, the cash index is currently sitting just slightly below below yesterday's close. But on the positive note, of course, it's kind of sitting back above this, still above this 21-day EMA and above this upside line. Now, the only thing, I mean, for me here, it's a little bit concerning because again, it seems that the European equities are sliding, the Chinese equities are also on the decline, and Japanese as well. So basically, let's see how this is going to play out. But again, as I'll still stick to the same level that kind of is working out nicely here. So if you remember, I talked about this 16,454.55 territory. If we do get a nice pop above it, if we do get a nice pop above it, then well, we could see a nice good push to the upside again, maybe even towards that all-time high. And of course, not only a pop above it, we would like to see that kind of the closing above this area, and then yes, potentially more buyers could join in. So long story short, for now I'll take a bit of a careful approach here, just because again, yes, we did see a bit of a recovery here yesterday. However, I want to see how it's going to perform further in relation to the Asian indices and European indices. Good morning good morning to everybody else who's joining in. In terms of Dow, let me have a look at Dow one very quickly. Just bear with me one moment. It's going to be in a similar similar fashion here. So let me just jump in here. Okay, so initially I would say this way. I mean, what I was saying initially was this way. From the technical side, yes, it seems that everything could be quite interesting here, maybe for the bulls again, because it seems that yes, we broke this upside line, but then we climbed back above it. However, if we take a look at the cash index right now, we'll see that the price is trading at around 34,755.50 zone. So that means that we are basically nicely below that psychological 35,000 mark. So this is where, I mean, you need to be very careful, and this is where sometimes, yes, I mean, the technical, we need to adjust the technical picture to the situation, the actual situation, and for now, I would say, yep, I mean, if it starts, it's currently sitting around here, but if it starts falling below last week's low, guys, near the, which is around the 34,750 zone, then, well, I mean, further declines are possible, so be very careful with that. At the moment, I mean, we could start also drawing some of these other tentative upside lines here. For example, let me just grab this one, and yep, that's what we could mark here. There we go. But even so, I mean, we're still kind of, let's say, sitting above this upside line, taken from the low of the 29th of January. So in other words, if you're looking for some further declines, yes, a break of this hurdle, this 34,750 zone is needed. That's the low of last week. That if a nice good break below it would confirm a forthcoming lower low, and coincidentally here, I mean, it could also break this upside line. So maybe a lot of this is where that confirmation comes in. As long as the index stays around here somewhere, I'm gonna, let's say, take maybe a bit of a neutral stance, to be honest, because, well, I don't want to see, I want to see what's gonna happen with this, if it maybe is able to climb back above this upside line here, taken from the low of the 30th of October of last year. If it climbs back above it, then I'll aim for maybe a bit of an upside here, but only up until this downside resistance line taken from the high of the 8th of November. So basically a lot of uncertainty for now. It's not a very clear picture, guys. The only thing is what we can do for now is stick to some of the levels, wait for the break of it, and then we could act accordingly. But of course, don't forget your stop loss. Because, for example, if here, even if we drop below that 34,750 zone, we drop nicely to the downside, but by the end of the day, we still kind of climb back above it and stay above it, well, maybe it will just show a nice little false breakout, and maybe then we could see a nice little reversal back to the upside. Well, I hope that helps, Ebo. DXY, the dollar index, here we see a nice little drift lower. So as you can see, this 94.38 zone continued to provide resistance, and well, so far it seems that we could see this one maybe correcting a little bit further south. So that's what I'm going to stick to, unless the index pushes back up and stays above this 96.38 zone right here, which is, by the way, just to show you what I'm talking about, is this inside swing low of the 23rd of June of 2020. Jumping into gold, so we're still hanging above this upside line. Now, not this one, which I've drawn previously, but this one right here, which I've referred to also as a potential neckline here of a possible head and shoulders pattern. Now, let me get rid of this upside line, no longer needed. I'm going to stick to this one instead. And as you can see, also this 1782 zone somehow continues to provide that good support. And if eventually we get a break below it, then yes, we could consider this as a possible head and shoulders pattern. The only thing is that it's not a really ideal one, not a very pretty one. However, we do have that very thin right shoulder right here, so which in a way could be classed as that already. However, until we get that break of this so-called neckline, we cannot really kind of get comfortable with this idea, just because we could see this one also pushing a little bit more again to the upside, maybe even testing this 21-day EMA, and then maybe reversing back down. However, if the commodity does jump and stay above, somewhere above this 1814, 15 zone, that's where it could become a little bit more interesting for a few more buyers, and we could see this one maybe climbing back up. WTI oil, so good move yesterday to the upside, good rejection near this 73.11 zone, and yep, we saw this one drifting back down, and currently it's trading below that 200-day EMA. Now, of course, all this is looks like a nice little inverted bear. Well, not inverted, but the bearish flag. It looks like we have our little pole here. We are seeing some consolidation right now here. Let's see if that's going to be the case. If it is, then well, keep your eyes actually on some of these levels right here, the 67.43, or even this one somewhere around here, this 68.16, approximately around there. Now we're currently trading slightly below it, but we still have this 67.43 level as well. So if we clear that, my next target on this one will be the lowest point of August near the 61.76 zone, and then we will take it from there, guys. Ripple, very interesting developments, very interesting position here, and yep, we are near this downside line. Maybe you could say maybe a bit of a tentative line, but nevertheless a downside line. So long story short, if you're looking for some upside, then obviously at least wait for a break and a break of this downside line and a push above this 1.0170 zone. Then yes, we could slowly start aiming north. However, if this downside line continues to provide resistance, yes, we could see maybe a bit of a decline here, but we do have a bunch of levels to keep in mind, like for example this one right here, the current lowest point of November near the 0.8827 zone, and a nice good drop below it would confirm a forthcoming lower low. AUD USD, so jumping into a few pairs now. This hurdle here, the lowest point of August near the 0.7106 level, is somehow doing its job in providing support for now. Can it continue doing that? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. We already had quite a decent decline here, and I do understand some of the temptation to kind of maybe try and take advantage of this. But again, for now, guys, it's just still to the downside, and yeah, in a way it could continue sliding, especially if it again drops below the 0.7106 territory and stays below it. Then yes, further declines are possible, and our next target then could be somewhere around here near the 0.6991 zone. So that's the lowest point of November of 2020. So then, yep, we'll see if we can reach that area in general. But for that, we need to see a nice, good, strong move below this 0.7106 territory. A quick update on USD JPY. Yep, for now, we are seeing just a nice little decline, to be honest. I mean, yesterday we saw that little correction, but now we're seeing that little decline. Now, given this this picture here, I mean, what could happen is we could see this one right now consolidating, maybe for the next few days, just moving sideways, but maybe with a slight decline here, and then basically if we could get closer to this area here, this 112.73, a nice good drop below it, yep, could kind of lead to some further declines. And basically, again, also we could see this as a maybe possible bearish flag here. So yeah, be very careful for now. Either way, if you're looking for some downside, then at least wait for a drop below this low of the current lowest point of November near the 112.73 zone. In terms of the upside, looking at this, you can see that, I mean, I would rather maybe stick to this 21-day EMA just for the kind of the simplicity of it. If we do climb and stay above this 21-day EMA, yep, I'll aim for the upside again. Now, quick update on the US dollar against the Turkish lira. If you remember, I talked about this little like triangle pattern here, yeah, we managed to break it to the upside, and this is what I told you guys to keep an eye on it, because, well, this might be seen as a bit of a continuation pattern. So the prevailing trend was to the upside. We entered this little triangle, and we now broke through the upper side of it, and it seems like we continue to push. We continue to push higher. So for now, it seems that there's no stopping for this one, just to continue moving higher and higher. Let me just actually remove the drawings here and let me start fresh, because I mean, talking about a move, that's is insane. Of course, a lot of temptation here. I mean, you can see that this pair, if we apply just technical analysis on it, I mean, it's quite overbought here, and maybe, yeah, it's just crying for a bit of a retracement. However, we cannot really get comfortable with that idea yet, because, well, I mean, it just seems a one-way traffic, guys, and yeah, be very careful with it. So I would say, if you're looking for some maybe correction, maybe at least a break of this upside line here, taken from the low of the 16th of November, so a break of it might do the trick for a few more sellers here. But then, even then, we would still need to be very careful and watch the situation, because at the moment it's yeah, it's not very stable in regards to the Turkish lira. GBP Aussie, guys. So again, something like a bullish flag here forming. However, I would like to see a nice good pop above this 1.876263 territory right here, in order to get comfortable with higher levels. At the moment, yes, everything's looking fine. I mean, we are climbing higher. We're trading above some of these upside lines right here. Tentative, of course, but nevertheless, some upside lines. In a way, I mean, if we're looking for some downside, still a break of this upside line would be needed, but even then, we could consider maybe this as a temporary correction. So yeah, there's a lot of things to consider. Look at, long story short, for now I'm leaning a little bit more towards the upside on this one. However, I need to see that pop above this 1.8763 territory, and then my next target will be this highest point of September, near the 1.8961 level. EURUSD, also again beautiful flag here, bullish flag. Look at this spectacular move here yesterday, and boom, I mean, guys, that was just amazing. So in a way, I would say now it seems like quite positive. However, we can see that we kind of violated this 1.4463 territory, and we kind of I would rather maybe stick to this level right now, because it kind of got violated, but didn't really carry much significance. And so for now, long story short, if we do pop above this 1.4494 territory, this will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and then yes, we could go for some higher levels. At the moment, initially, I would, if we do get something like that, I would aim for that 100-day EMA. Then we have this lowest point of July, which could provide some resistance or maybe a temporary hold up. But if that gets cleared, then my next target is the 200-day EMA. So yeah, keep that in mind. For the downside, well, this is where the I don't want to say the tricky bit here, but an interesting part could come in. So if we drop below this 1.4358 zone, that's where yes, maybe more sellers could start considering their point of entry, but also keep your eyes on yesterday's low near the 1.4335 zone, and as you drop below it, at the same time could place the pair below that 21-day EMA, and then yep, potentially more sellers could join in. So at the moment, I'm leaning a little bit more towards the upside, but again, a confirmation break is needed. Now, EURUSD still fighting this hurdle, this 127.93 zone. I talked about this pair yesterday, and well, this is exactly what I meant. So yes, we had that strong drop below this, but as you can see, by the end of the day, it kind of drifted back. And just bear with me one moment, Abu. So yeah, in Euro JPY, yes, all eyes are still on this little hurdle. We need to see a nice, good, strong move below it, and I would like to see the body of the daily candle staying below this area in order to go for further declines. At the moment, probably this arrow would need to be redrawn right now this way to kind of reflect the potential scenario here. So if we by any chance this continues to hold and we see a nice little stronger rebound back above this 128.33 zone, then well, we could go maybe for a bit of a nice little retracement back up. In terms of USD CAD, just bear with me if I manage to have some time. I'll jump into that, but I just wanted to quickly pick up on EURUSD. Similar story here. Also something like a bullish flag. So this hurdle here, the 1.1255, did provide support, yep, we did have a nice little rebound here. So for now, long story short, everything's looking quite positive from the very short-term perspective. However, can we get that positivity? Let me just recycle this line here. So I'm gonna stick to the area here, the 1.1331 zone. A nice good pop above it, yep, may lead to the lead the pair towards that 21-day EMA. USD CAD is requested. Let me just pick up on that quickly until I run out of time, guys. So USD CAD, I mean here, what I see here is basically a nice little downside line, tentative one, getting broken, getting violated, and what I see also a nice clear move above this 1.2775 zone marked by the high of the 29th of September and getting violated, and we're still trading above it. So for now I'm leaning a little bit, of course, more towards the upside, especially if oil continues to decline. So a nice good pop above that 1.28 territory, yes, it may open the door. If we pop and stay above that 1.28 territory, my next target then is the 1.2896 level marked by the highest point of September. If we drop back below this downside line and stay below it, well, maybe we're not ready yet to move higher. So guys, that's it for this session. I'll have to wrap it up here. Thank you very much. I hope you found it useful, and thank you very much for your views, your comments, guys. I really appreciate that. If you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, at my Traders Espresso, 7 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a wonderful trading day. Stay safe, have your stop losses in place, and everything will be fine. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.